All right, today we're jumping into something really powerful. It's a modern manifesto with a huge mission to reverse what it calls a 400-year-old psychological curse. This work is titled The Willie Lynch Reversal, and it lays out a very deliberate blueprint for healing and restoration. So, right off the bat, the whole thing is framed by this one profound question. It's really the foundation for everything that follows. The mission here isn't positioned as just some social program, but as a spiritual act. A conscious, intentional reversal of a long-standing curse by creating a new, binding covenant. Now, to get the reversal, you first have to understand the Willie Lynch idea. It's super important to know that this text isn't talking about a specific historical person. Instead, it's using the name as a symbol for a blueprint, a strategy for psychological division designed to create distrust and disunity that lasts for generations. And that's the very idea this text aims to completely dismantle. Okay, so let's dive into the first part of the narrative. It starts by defining the problem it wants to solve, framing it as a 400-year curse. This section is all about detailing the legacy of division that's been passed down over centuries. I mean, listen to this language. It's so powerful. It frames the curse not as a total loss of identity, but as a suppression of it. The idea here is that this inherent royalty and divinity were targeted, but a divine code somehow survived, just waiting to be switched back on. And this is where the manifesto gets really specific, It diagnoses the symptoms of this curse not as some abstract historical event, but as tangible, real-life problems that people feel today. We're talking conflict within families, distrust between men and women, and the breakdown of the household itself. Okay, so after laying out the problem, the whole narrative pivots. The document declares a solution it calls the Great Reversal. This is presented as an active, conscious choice to just break with the old patterns and establish a completely new order. And the language here is just absolute. Notice, this isn't a suggestion or a hope, right? It's a firm declaration. This document is proclaiming that the curse is over, not someday in the future, but right now. It's a really powerful statement about taking back control. This slide just lays out the core logic of the whole thing so brilliantly. For every single principle of the curse, the reversal offers a direct opposite replacement. It's like a one-for-one swap. Division gets replaced with unity, fear gets replaced with faith, and mental bondage is replaced with what the text calls divine alignment. So what does this new reality actually look like? Well, this manifesto doesn't just tear down the old ways, it gives you a detailed blueprint for building the new. And it's all centered on a new covenant with very specific core principles. And this new covenant, it rests on three foundational pillars. You can think of them as the load-bearing walls of a restored community: unity, balance, and legacy. First up, unity. And this is presented as the most important pillar, an absolute law. It's not just a nice idea. It's positioned as the fundamental truth that holds everything else up. Any force that tries to create division is declared defeated right from the start. The second pillar, balance, is all about restoring the family unit through what it calls complementary roles. The author uses this incredible symbolism. The woman is the architect who designs the vision. The man is the foundation that provides the support. And their union creates the throne, the seat of power and continuity for the family. And the third pillar, legacy, shifts the focus to the future by totally transforming how children are raised in the present. It calls for a radical shift in upbringing, getting away from a mindset of just survival and moving towards one of sovereignty, purpose, and leadership. So let's move into the final section and see how all this builds into this grand, forward-looking vision. Because this isn't just about fixing today's problems. It's about designing a future that deliberately mirrors and redeems the past. And the scale of this vision is just immense. The mission is explicitly framed to create a positive 400-year legacy. It's a direct parallel to the 400-year curse it wants to reverse. We're talking about a project of generational proportions here. So how do you sustain that kind of future? Well, according to this blueprint, you need a completely new value system. It's about moving beyond just money and status. In this new world, the pillars of society are internal qualities like knowledge and spiritual order. The economy itself is redefined as purpose, and the most valuable currency you can have is character. This final metaphor just perfectly captures the entire journey of transformation that this text envisions. It's such a powerful image of redemption, right? The very symbol of oppression, the sun rising over a field of enslaved people, is reclaimed as a symbol of royalty and empowerment. And that really brings us to the core of this whole thing. This manifesto presents itself not as some academic paper to be debated, but as a call to action to be embodied. Which leaves us with a final question to think about. What does it actually mean to stop repeating a history and instead start consciously building?